So let's take a look now at what's been grabbing the headlines around the world. And for that, we're joined by Florence Vielmann once again. Now, the international paper has paid close attention to what's happening here in France with social unrest and violent protests over those labour reforms.
That's right. Let's take a look at the front page of the Wall Street Journal today. You'll see a photo that's actually all over the press today. Quite a beautiful photo, I must say, that was taken in Lyon yesterday. So that's the second biggest city in France. And you can see this protester here facing this this group of police officers, and he's holding, a flare there and a bouquet of flowers. So quite a contrast.
There.
They've actually titled the photo "War and Peace." The photographer is Jean-Philippe Chayazek. It's also in an article in The Independent today, which focuses on the fact that striking workers are targeting all sorts of things: power stations, refineries, transport networks, so causing major chaos, but they've failed to paralyze the country thus far, and The Independent wonders whether that will indeed happen.
Okay, let's move on now further afield. Lots of focus on Barack Obama's historic visit to Hiroshima today. That'll be the first, of course, by a US president since the first atomic bomb was dropped on August 6, 1945.
That's right. Very symbolic visit, getting a lot of attention in the U.S. media, as you can imagine. Let's take a look at the Washington Post. Says that this offers a chance for reconciliation on all sides. Now, U.S. officials say there will be no expression of regret or apology. And in fact, Japanese officials say none is needed because that would mean that they'd have to apologize for what they did during the war as well. Now, this visit comes at a very particular time for Japan. You can read more about it in the New York Times. The leader of Japan, so Shinzo Abe, has little use for lessons of pacifism, of course. Excuse me. He's accused of rolling back some of the more pacific, how do you say that? Pacific, peaceful parts of the Constitution. So the New York Times pacifist, that's the word, is quite critical of the leader there.
What are the Japanese papers saying about Obama's visit, Flo?
Well, the Japan Times talks about the dark side of the visit, also critical of Shinzo Abe. Excuse me, for reinterpreting the Constitution, wishes that he would spend more time on the economy. Excuse me, I've got something in my throat here.
There's a lot of that going around this one.
China Daily also, and of course the Chinese paper has been very critical of Abe's revisionist policies. You can see they have a different take on why the U.S. will refuse to apologize here. They say that it reflects the U.S.'s wariness of Japan. And I like this cartoon here. You can see the President Obama shaking hands with Abe, but under the table there, they are kicking each other in the knees there.
Certainly. Well, let's stay with the China Daily, one of our favourite papers here on France 24. You've put out a cartoon on Donald Trump. He's also a big focus, really, for the paper. Of course, Donald Trump, yesterday, it was announced that he had managed to earn the support of enough delegates to clinch the Republican nomination.
That's right. Huge story coming out of the U.S. Let's take a look at that cartoon. You can see Donald Trump. He is the king of the chessboard, according to this cartoon. Now, you might see it here. He's essentially transforming all the pieces on the chessboard into his camp. So those black pieces are turning white here. Perhaps he's going to attract a lot of voters. Now, The Guardian has a funny cartoon as well, where you can see their take on things. You can see this huge Donald Trump. You will never be able to turn me off again. And you might see that TV is actually unplugged here. Salon, the website, has a message for Republicans. You're stuck with him now. And you might feel a little bit of a schadenfreude here coming from Salon. This is actually a pretty funny article that says that, once it became official that Donald Trump has enough delegates to become the official nominee, well, a lot of Democrats took to social media to essentially completely troll Republicans, saying, now you can celebrate because you're going to have to vote for him.
Exactly. Well, that's because not all Republicans are thrilled with Trump, are they? Especially the Hispanic Republicans.
That's right. And this is going to be a major challenge for Donald Trump. You can read more about it in the Wall Street Journal today. Very interesting article. You can see this article saying, Hispanics are the largest majority in the U.S. these days. It's estimated that Latinos are going to represent 12% of the electorate in this election. So that's quite a huge chunk. It could be quite pivotal in the election. But you can see for now, their support eludes Trump. Perhaps it has to do with some of the things that he's said about Mexico.
I wonder why. It's such a surprise. Let's finish up with something a bit lighter. A word about modern art.
That's right. This is a hilarious story that you might have seen on social media because I have seen it all over the place. Check it out. You can read about it here in The Independent. A pair of glasses were left on the floor at a museum, and everyone mistook it for art. Now, this took place at the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. The prankster, actually a 17-year-old named TJ Akayatan, he said that he wanted to test the theory that people will stare at and try and artistically interpret anything if it's in a gallery setting. And it turns out he was right. He put his glasses on the ground, and people, sure enough, started taking photos of it.
Well, there you are. Well, what is art? I mean, who can say what is art? We don't know. Thank you very much. Thomas Guillemino with the press review, Kate Moody with the business. And I'm Helen Mulkey-Dean here in Paris. Do stay with us on France 24.